look so fat from this camera angle. This is crazy. I'm not fat, I swear. It's just the way I'm sitting. Yo, it's your boy Ken the Artist or Exotic Vader. You can call me whatever. I don't really care. I'm still the same person. But anyways, we're finally back with another video. And today, after a very long time of not doing them, we are back with another movie review. But this time, it's not a random old movie that I found that was really weird. This time, it's probably the greatest movie that's come out this year so far. The most talked about movie, the most glazed, and rightfully so, Sinners. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Going into this movie, all I knew was that it was a vampire movie. It had something to do with vampires. Me personally, I don't watch no trailers or nothing like that, so I didn't get spoiled. The only time that I did get spoiled was, and this wasn't really a spoiler, I just put the pieces together, by the way. I saw a clip on TikTok of Cornbread trying to get in after he got bit. I didn't know that he got bit at the time, but since I watched the movie, I know, he got bit and he was trying to get back in, right? Cornbread was basically asking for permission to walk in. Now, the rest of the main cast is mad confused. They're like, yo, Cornbread, you've been guarding the door this whole time. Like, we know you wanna, like, you one of ours. You feel me? You fam, for real. So why you asking to come in all of a sudden? Why you gotta ask to come in? Why don't you just walk in? Like, you big enough to push us aside if we in your way anyways, right? Cornbread like, man, we ain't worried about all that, bro. Just let me in, bro. Am I allowed to come in? And they're like, why you gotta ask for permission? And then Cornbread like, we out here. Mind you, Cornbread said we out here while he was outside. And now the whole cast like, who is we? And then I flipped off the video. Because I was like, wait a minute, bro. I still don't know. At the point in time, I didn't know Sinners. I can't speak. I can't speak. At that point in time, I was like, okay, well, that was kind of weird. They already know him. Why he asked him to come in like that? And then I started to put the piece together. I'm like, yo, wait a minute. Don't vampires gotta act like old folklore vampires, like canonic, like canon event vampires? Don't they gotta ask to come in? Ain't that crazy? He could come in earlier, but now he gotta ask? Oh yeah. At that moment, I was like, this is a vampire movie? I was like, I've never seen a black vampire movie, an African American vampire movie, a Southern vampire movie where black people are the main character is the craziest idea I have ever heard in my life. And I was, from that point, I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta watch this movie. I started seeing the cast. I was like, yo, this cast is stacked with a bunch of goats that I'm very familiar with because I've seen the movies that have been in. Michael B. Jordan, Hailee Steinfeld, everybody else. Like, bro, familiar faces, even if I don't know their names, I've seen their faces. I'm like, yo, this movie has got to be bomb. And I found out that the director is the same man that directed Black Panther. Bro, I have to watch this movie. And by the way, the day that I watched this movie was actually unexpected. I didn't expect to watch the movie. I thought I was going to do some other things. But my mom, thank you, Mom, she took me to see the movie, and I've got to say I loved it. I went to the Alamo Drafthouse for the first time, and that was also pretty cool. So if y'all have an Alamo Drafthouse in your area and y'all have never been, go ahead and check it out. It's actually pretty nice. Anyways, I'm going to give you 5 reasons as to why I like this movie, just like I did with that one Transformers review, because that's just an easier way for me to break it down, because I think a lot. I have ADHD, and I'm stupid. So, we're going to go from top to bottom, 5 to 1. If my cat pulls this wire that my microphone is connected to, I am cooked. Anyways, top to bottom, start at number 5. Right off the bat, we have, this should be number 1, because they're like my favorite duo ever. This is the greatest, like, movie duo I've seen in a really, really long time. Not to mention that they're both played by one man, which was even crazier to me because as I was watching the movie, I was like, wow, this is actually very impressive. Who is this duo I'm talking about? Who's the duo in question? Obviously, Smoke and Stack, the 2 main brothers, the 2 of the 3 main characters from this movie. And brother, have I never fallen in love with 2 characters so fast? Automatically. Not to mention it's Michael B. Jordan, and I think he's a great actor, one of my favorite actors of all time, especially coming from an African American man, coming from a black man. Michael B. Jordan played this role gracefully, played these 2 roles gracefully, bro. And sitting here watching the movie, not knowing how they were able to do the twin effects, just like Mickey 13. I haven't seen it yet. I'm gonna do a review of Mickey 13 because I really want to see it. But yeah, Smoke and Stack really made this movie for me. following their journeys, following their coming back to the city, coming back to New Orleans or Louisiana. I believe the movie was shot in Louisiana, which is another thing that's on my list, so I'm not gonna talk about that yet. But it's just I love their dynamic. I love how Michael B. Jordan was able to play two different characters with two different personalities, but they're both twins, so they do sync up at times. Like, it was just, I loved it. Smoke was the serious one. Stack is, the more, ha laughy guy, but he can get serious in clutch situations, and I love that. I love that about both of them. Now, moving on to number 4. Another reason why I really, really love this movie is because it is shot in, I believe, New Orleans or somewhere in Louisiana. Now, a lot of you don't know this, but a lot of my family comes from Louisiana. We originate from Louisiana. A lot of us, a lot of people in my family have lived in Louisiana for a long time. I have so much family in Louisiana, it's insane. I don't even know half of them, but I met a lot of them, and I still don't know half of them. It's crazy. A lot of them is light skinned. I was actually surprised about that, but my great grandma, she's from Louisiana. I think my mom was born in Louisiana. My granny was born in Louisiana too. Like, my family has spent a lot of time in Louisiana, and to see like a movie incorporate black culture like this from Louisiana with all the folklore, similar to like Voodoo Tales, or when they mention our main character, which we will get to in a second, he is able to conjure or communicate with old spirits from the past through his music, and they had so many forms of cultural appropriation during that musical scene in the movie, which we will be talking about as well. It was beautiful, and I absolutely loved it, and I think it was it was very clever and very creative in my opinion, and I think that was really sick what they did. It was really cool. But yeah, that's number 4, that it was shot in Louisiana and they incorporated like actual beliefs and superstitions, and even one of our main characters, she is familiar with spiritual things like that and how to combat evil spirits, and she's familiar with vampires, which is how we got our leg up in this battle against vampires. Number 3, our main character, the real main character, not Michael B. Jordan, Preacher Boy. Bro, oh my gosh, I forgot the actor's name, and I'm so sorry. I feel like that's very disrespectful. This is the first time I've ever seen him on screen. I don't know what other movies he's played in, what other TV shows, movies, anything like that, or maybe even animations that he's done, but all I know is that he did gosh darn well, and his singing was also amazing. In fact, his singing was so good, and some of the scores in this movie, that I actually ended up adding them to my playlist because of how absolutely fire they were. But he did a wonderful job playing Preacher Boy, just playing a boy that is tired of being stuck in his little shell at his at home, and he wants to get out, explore the world, and show people his talents. And sometimes, you understand where he's coming from. He's young, he's growing up, he's getting rebellious, and that's how he ended up with Smoke and Stack. He got in Smoke and Stack's car, took his guitar with him, even though his dad told him not to go to the city and, spread his talents, show people his musical talents, and, help Smoke and Stack promote their business, which is what they came to the city to do in the first place. All right, so now we got number 3. These are mostly just characters. This just goes to show how good the characters are. The alcoholic man, I loved him, but he's a big number 2 for me, bro. I love this character. I love the way he went out. It fit the character very well. He was a very good comic relief, and whenever he was on screen, I knew that it reminded me, like, this movie it's not to be taken too heavily. Him being on screen really, I don't know, just increased my morale. Seeing him just made me happy. That's just made me you see you're gonna have a good time. He was one of them characters that you look at, he's gonna have a good time. And I'm obviously familiar with him in other movies. I don't know his name, which is obviously disrespectful, but I have seen so many movies that this man has been in. This man has been in so many films, it is insane. Moving on to the last final reason, number 5, I want to say the portrayal of vampires in this film was by far the weirdest portrayal of vampires that I've ever seen, but I also think it might be the most lore accurate portrayal of vampires, specifically because I'm not too familiar with like vampire folklore, but this is literally the first movie that I've ever seen in my life where a vampire has to ask for permission to come in your household or your place of stay or wherever you are. This is the first vampire movie that I've ever seen that's actually incorporated that. And I know for a fact that that is a part of vampire folklore. That's a real folklorian thing. Just the idea of a black vampire movie was like a shocker to me, and then seeing how they were going to party or going about doing it was just, it was peak, bro. It was really darn good, man. And I have got to say, bro, this review or this whatever, wherever this is gonna be, this recording or wherever, however I make it, however I feel, it doesn't do it justice. This was definitely the best movie to come out this year so far. Maybe the Thunderbolts tops it. I doubt it. I just want to rate this movie a solid 10 out of 10, 5 million out of 10. Actually, this is a great film. I love me some good black films, bro. Ever since I've seen Django, I was like, bro, I need me some good black films, bro. And it's not just Django, it's not just this film. We got films like The Harder They Fall. You got films like They Clone Tyrone. You got films like Nope. Like, man, like Get Out. Obviously, you know, films like that. You know, it's just, you see black folk lock in these movies. It's like, dang, man. As a black man in America today, seeing how far the black community has come in the film scene, especially in like Hollywood and things like that, where black people, I know for a fact, black people are shunned or looked down upon when it comes to films. Some of these people may not know this, but like these artists, these musicians that we listen to, these poets, these writers, these mechanics, people that make things, you know, creators, things like that, all of that, creatives all across the world, black creatives, most of y'all, a lot of y'all are gonna go down in history as legends for the black community. Sinners, the director of Sinners, the freaking Michael B. Jordan, you know, Lakeith Stanfield, John Boyega, actors like that are just, they're gonna go down in history. Donald Glover, Chadwick Boseman, actors like that are black actors that paved the way, revolutionized film, things like that. Y'all, they're gonna go down in history. They're gonna go down in the books, and they will never be forgotten. We are witnessing we are witnessing peak films being created right now for the black community, and just in general, legends in the making here. And I think that we should really just take the time and appreciate the creations that we've been given, appreciate this movie Sinners, appreciate so many other films that are so freaking good before these actors' times is up or their deals are done, they retire, stuff like that, man. Because getting a film like this, of this caliber, was insane. This is like pulling a Pokemon. It's like pulling $1,000 Pokemon, bro. It's like pulling a 1,000 dragons, bro. Like, this is nuts, bro. This is like getting a god roll gun in Destiny, bro. Like, this is so rare, and I hope that we get more films like this. I hope more directors and more actors take freaking inspiration from this movie, and we get more films like this, and They Clone Tyrone and stuff like that. Like, man, these movies are peak, bro. Anyways, that was the Sinners review for you. I rate Sinners 10 out of 10 once again. It's a great film. If you haven't seen it, if you decided that you don't want to see it, or it was on the tip of your tongue, you think you might, you think you won't, please go watch this movie. It's darn freaking good. It's an action-packed ride that you will never forget. It's gonna have you thinking about it for a couple days after, a couple weeks, maybe even a month, maybe even a year. You'll run it back over and over again when it hits whatever streaming platform it goes to. But nonetheless, Sinners was good. Every actor did great. Haley Steinfeld, Michael B. Jordan, the man that played Preacher Boy, everybody, they did peak. They did really good. And I love the film. If you love the film, and if you love what I said about the film, and if you just love my freaking voice, please like, subscribe, and comment in the comment section what movie you think I should review, what game you think I should play, or anything you think I should do in the next video. And also, give me your opinion about the film. Tell me what you thought about it. Tell me what you liked about it. I'm sure I'll hear a lot of things about it if this video does get more than 20 views. And without further ado, oh yeah, I forgot. Dislike the video if you dislike it, bro. There's nothing wrong with disliking my videos. I know they're butt. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're butt. You know, sometimes I'm making these videos in the wrong headspace, and that's just fine. We ain't perfect. Anyways, see y'all later. Y'all have a blessed day. It's your boy Kenny Artist, or Exotic Reader, whatever one you want to call me as. I love y'all, man. More videos coming soon. Peace out.